What's up, family? This is your man, not your boy, bringing you another gold nugget that you can either pick up or you can just kick it aside. Can you all hear me? I am having, I guess, I need to run a test on this, but let me know if y'all can hear me or not. Check one, check two. Um, Boy, it has been a while. My audio is showing that I am on point, but I want to make sure that you all can hear me loud and clear. Um, yeah, I want to talk about hear you well. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Shalom to you all. Good afternoon, good morning. I know that wherever you are, I hope your day is as blessed as mine is. I'm gonna tell you, it's been a wild week here, coming out of a lockdown here in Tanzania, and I wanted to come out here and just share some tips and also share with you all. Uh, Man, what it's like to be on an island and you can't move. Open my eyes up to really about, do I want to live on an island in a foreign country when something goes down? You know, let me just say peace and blessings to each and every one of you all as y'all come in. Put this the thumbs up, like whatever they say you're supposed to do, so we can get this video out here. I think it's very important for people to take these tips in what it is when you start to navigate. 'Cause many of us going to go on a journey. Believe it or not, many of you all will go on a journey seeking newfound land. I don't care if it's the next state over, whether it is in another country, what have you. I believe it's going to be another country. But I wanted to share what all we have been going through. But let me make sure that I got this together as far as this video that's coming out. Okay, so we on point, and yeah, I'm gonna run a video real quick for you all to see, as far as give you just a gist of what has happened. It was a presidential election that happened that many of the Tanzanians rose up and decided that they were sick and tired of being sick and tired of the same old. And I think that many of us maybe can feel that same spirit when it comes to being in a place where your system that's in place, government, what have you, may not be changing the way that you feel it should be changed, but that many of people, especially these youth here in Africa, are starting to look at social media. They're starting to see how the rest of the rest of the world is operating when it comes to not being satisfied with things and want to rise up against a government. You know, Tanzania is known for one of the most peaceful countries, and America just put out the four alert uh, level, the level 4 alert on countries that you would maybe not want to go and visit. Now, here's the interesting thing, because I did a video with Dr. Akana. Shout out to ADDI. I still have love for you all. But you know, I had shared that, you know, I didn't think at this moment in time that that she should be trying to get citizenships for uh the people, Americans, and also the other diaspora to come move into Burkina Faso at this moment in time, being that Ibrahim Traore, the president, who has ridded the leeches and the parasites, who are the French, out of the country, and he ridded them, but still have some issues with jihadists and extremists, Muslim extremists that they're trying to battle with in the northern plains. I made that comment, and of course, it was all taken the wrong way. I am not trying to sway anybody from coming to the motherland. If anybody knows Go Black to Africa is about get the hell out of a damn Erica, put the D in front of America, capitalize the E, damn Erica, get the hell out of her, and come into a place where people look like you, the governments look like you, though it may not be perfect, but you can come in certain countries and you can have new beginnings. You can take the little money that you may have, buy you a piece of property. I've bought 3 pieces of property in Africa, and let that help and assist you in your days to come. I have counseled hundreds of people. I have motivated and encouraged hundreds of thousands of people to come to the motherland and to visit and to see, is it for you? This is what I do. I have done tons of interviews. Please go on my YouTube channel, click on the African emblem, go back to Africa, and go smoochie through my home videos where you can see 34 countries I've been to, interviewed people like you and I who come from America, come from UK, and have decided to settle and make a certain country their own. So if anybody's promoting Africa, it is me. But I made a comment about ADI and the potential security risks that they may be up against, being that we know the French ain't just walking away with the tail between their legs and thinking that it's over because they decided to, Burkina Faso decided to kick them out and they're losing millions of dollars. Europeans have never operated that way. They are going to try to set up coups. They're going to try to dismantle. They're going to try to put sanctions against your countries. They're going to try to send in military weapons and try to get others who may oppose you or sway and pay people to go and rise up against you. Those days, I believe, are coming. Why? History shows that. Drink is on me, family. I am in beautiful Tanzania on the island of Zanzibar, considered to be one of the most beautiful beaches and destinations for people to come vacation. Though the people in America don't come over into Africa or even on the east side of the African, Europeans, Indians, Arabs, Muslims to be alike, come to Zanzibar. This is their getaway vacation spot. What better place to buy a piece of property possibly and rent and get some income, or to even just use it as an investment or a place that you can come and lay and kick back. I am going to, for those who may be interested and who has the funds, if you got $40,000, yes, 30 or $40,000, you can get in on the properties that I purchased and have a means of staying a month out of the year without paying hotel expenses and have to deal with the rising costs of inflation, and you are locked in. I know many of our people don't have the money that I spent on properties, but you still can go ahead and have a piece of a property that you can have every year and come in for a month. And if you decide that you do not want to come and visit or stay for that month, you have the opportunity to rent it out on Airbnb. Sounds like a deal to me. Opportunity to go ahead and get some generated income, some flow coming in, because hey, there again, $40,000. We spend that on a car and then turn around and buy another car in 3.5 years, and then buy another car in 3.5 years, which then is equivalent to 120. So you can figure every 3.5 years, we're spending about $30,000 to $40,000 into a car, bringing you nothing. But without further ado, let me go ahead and run this 2-minute video to give you just a feel, just to put your finger on the pulse of what the youth were actually uprising. And then I'll come back and share you the tips of how we was locked down on this island. And some people was in a world of trouble, ran out of money, all those things, because of the ATMs were shut down. We couldn't call anybody. We didn't have internet, couldn't text, nothing. People, it was amazing to see people go without having their cell phones, their laptops. It was amazing to see how people didn't know how to function and didn't know what to do. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this started here.
wananchi wakishambulia magari ya askari kwa mawe. Matenti ambayo ilikuwa ikitumika kwenye kituo hiko, na hapa ni katikati ya barabara ya mwendokasi kati ya kituo cha Magomeni. Kagera ambako wananchi wanaonekana wakiandamana kuelekea zilipo gari za polisi huku wakizirushia mawe.
Jim Hurts.
All right, so so you saw that, you know, this was something that was serious. I mean, this is the first time since their independence that anything even close to this tragic measures of rioting or protesting has happened in Tanzania. But I'm gonna tell you, I was just there 2 days before all that kicked off, me and my son, and we had came back, took the ferry back over here to Zanzibar. But let me tell you what all transpired, because the day that it hit, when Dar es Salaam, that was Dar es Salaam city, and there were several other cities within the country that people were protesting and rioting. It took effect, and the government decided to go on shutdown. And boy, were we through for a loop, because there was no heads up, there was nothing. It was just like you just blew. No internet, there was no texting, no calling, and the government, from what I'm told, wanted to try to take measures in keeping those protesters from communicating with each other, and trying to, for each day that went by, to communicate with each other and have local meetup places and, you know, share what they were going to do. But they didn't take in consideration, they put everybody else basically at a disadvantage. In other words, you know, when I dropped my son off at the airport, because they shut down the Dar es Salaam's airport because the protesters got out there on the airport, and so they stopped a lot of flights coming in. But on Zanzibar, there wasn't any issues as far as protests were concerned. I think because small island, and they had their military out, police was out, and they were just cruising around, just trying to see if anything's going to pop off. But you know, who is this? No Arabian Night? I can't remember. 8837 says, "Why are they acting this way?" It came to a point when they shut everything down because of the protesters, who, to answer the question, why were they acting this way? The president, as they call Mama Samia, who actually took the position of the president when the West killed President Magufuli, and that's my opinion, that they killed him. Now they try to say he had heart issues and he died, but during the COVID and all that there, for those who don't know, you can just look up, go back to Africa, Tanzania, Magufuli. I was there on the ground, and I videotaped that whole recession, his funeral procession, on a boat, on a motorcycle, videotaping and reporting what was going on. And many people, even to this day, have come across their beliefs of believing that he was murdered, and she was the one who took the helm, if you will, because she was vice president. It was time then for a re-election to happen, where people did not want to see her come back in office, and there was some actions that were taken against opposing parties that her party, which is being reported, you know, stopped those opponents from running and jailed a couple of them because of words they may have said or made accusations to. So basically, it wasn't really an election from what some people are saying, that it was just one sided and it was just a given that she would come in office. So many of the youth and those who were out there protesting wanted change in how things were. And what I was told was that many of the locals were feeling that she is selling their country away. We know that there have been reports there in Arusha area, or even the Maasai land was given to Europeans or sold to Europeans so they can have a hunt wildlife and have a area where they can do such a thing. Um, Also, many were feeling, as what was being told me, that they felt as though that there were many foreigners, uh, and specifically whether it was Asians or uh, those of other nationalities who were coming into the country, who were getting uh, better accommodations and were getting benefits beyond than what the citizens felt they should be getting, like jobs and opportunities. And so many of these people went out protesting. um, I'm not going to get involved with really the politics because I'm not a citizen, and I don't think that I should even speak on an opinion of how the political party is doing. But I'm gonna tell you this right here. Let me give y'all some tips for those who's traveling, because you might just be traveling, going on vacation, and you might think about this because times is coming. Um, what I learned, locked down on an island, many people were very pissed off because they felt that the government didn't consider the tourists, those who lived here, and who people who were doing business. Um, the business aspect of it, people who work from home, from the computers, had no internet. There was no internet every day for a whole week. It was nothing you can get on, not your phone, couldn't call your family, your loved ones, any of that. And the people who were doing business without any heads up or any warning could not even contact their employers or the people that work for them or contracts that they had or what have you. This put many people at a very pissed off attitude. And the second effect that it had was people were living here. And I know a couple people whose children take distance learning and need the internet. And one particular, a friend of mine who family, his wife and his children, two of his children are taking college classes from America and need the internet. And so could not even give the college the heads up. So he was about to go pack up and go to Kenya so that his family can have the opportunity to, because you might get disenrolled when you're not, doing assignments and staying in contact with your professors and stuff like that. So it put him at a huge disadvantage of where that he was contemplating about going, and almost was about to buy tickets to go to Kenya and get internet for his family. Um, the other side of that was, and I had several people who um, they didn't have no readily cash available, and typically some people may go to the ATM or they might even go to their bank. Banks were closed down, no internet. Everything was shut down when it came to the government halting the internet. And so people were just sitting around twiddling their thumbs. To me, I thought it was a great opportunity just to sit back and relax. That's all I do anyways. Relax, enjoy the beautifulness, the grandness, the grandeur of what we're sitting here enjoying, and but I get it though. So many people are, you know, addicted to their social media. And, I saw the youth out here was aimlessly wandering around trying to figure out what they're going to do. Nothing to do. Um, when it came to, them just trying to navigate through not having internet. The other side of that story I share with you all is being on an island. They stopped the ferries. You couldn't leave to go to the mainland, and there was nothing coming in. And living on an island, everything is shipped here. Food, supplies, everything is shipped to an island. And I wondered if the government even considered the fact that you shut down your whole country, but there are people out here on, I think it's 4 islands out here that people live on, and shut down the boats so nothing can move. And there were people who were concerned about how can they get to the other side to their families, those who got on came, because the ferry goes like 4 or 5 times out of the day. And then there's loads of people who get on and off of them. People come over here for business, drop off supplies, then people go back. Some people come over, maybe spend the night or whatever, and then go back, and then they're stuck. And what I thought was, man, I'm on this island, and what if this food supply goes down? Now, many people say, oh, man, they got all kind of fruits and vegetation here on the island and all, but we know when there's people are in desperation, every man's for himself. I know that. But here it is that no contact with the rest of the world, just out here on an island, and have no contact, no internet, no phone call, no texting, couldn't do any of that. And the government got it all locked down, and yet everybody's trying to figure it out. And so the tips for you, brothers and sisters, because many of our people go to Jamaica for vacation, Virgin Islands, go to, Mexico, go to the Bahamas and all these other places. What do you do when you get stuck somewhere? And I'm saying tip number 1, you best have cash on hand. Always travel with cash on hand, because many people found out who were here, who were used to operating and getting their money through pay. You can put money on your account, there's an account you can put money on, and you can always go to restaurants and to the markets and pay them through your phone. But when that's gone, what do? The other, so that phones were dead. So the next course was, well, if I can't get access to my money that I have attached to my bank account that I can use for my phone to go pay merchants and go to restaurants or go to, markets and stuff like that, I got to go to an ATM. But the ATM is ran by Wi-Fi or the internet. That was closed down. So now you got people asking other people for money. Can you front me, or can you lend me, something until this is all and over with? And so that was very concerning to see people who just didn't have readily cash to take care of them and their families. Tip number 2, we always hear about living off the grid, and, if something goes down, thankfully the electricity for where I am, we have a generator when electricity goes out, and it went out. And it went out for some time for some people who are living outside of where I live. And what do you do when you are at a place, a hotel, you are at some Airbnb, and you don't have electricity? And I found that out when me and my son went to Dar es Salaam, and I didn't say I found it out. It slipped my mind because I hadn't done Airbnb in Africa in a long while. And I booked this Airbnb, and lo and behold, when I get up in there, the electricity goes out. And here in Africa, electricity can go out from 5 minutes to a week. So here I am in a Airbnb without electricity because I forgot to ask the question of whether or not they have a generator for the building that I was renting a room out of. Totally slipped my mind, but oh well, it's one of those things. So I found that even if you're traveling, I just happen to be fortunate where I'm staying that there was a generator when electricity goes out. Check to make sure that where you're staying, there is a generator. Most definitely. Number 3 tip, especially living on an island. If you are on an island, even it doesn't even have to be an island, but stock up on water and also on non-perishable items because them shipments they stop, and if it lasts for a while, you ain't got no food, no water, you are in a world of trouble. Those are the top 3 tips that I could say to anybody when you're traveling and you're staying for a duration of time, is to ensure that you have cash readily available, that you at least when you're going to stay somewhere to make sure that you have at least a generator, and also that you have storage of food that can last you. Another tip I will put out here, um, for those, is that make sure you have locals in your circle of friends. They come in handy when you're trying to find out what's happening. Because I found out that each day that went by, it seemed like, I think 4 days went by straight nothing. And then all of a sudden the government's they're turning on the internet for an hour or so, and it goes back off. And I know they were wanting to use it, or giving access to these airports or whatever, because even the airport here on Zanzibar, when my son was leaving out, they didn't have internet, and they had to write everybody's ticket by hand, and also for the luggage tags they had to write by hand. They were 3 hours behind schedule when he took off. 3 hours. But each day that went by, there were some of those who had access with local numbers to call others with local numbers. I didn't even think about it. I got a local number. But here was the issue. The people that I know, the the uh, the expats who are here, I only had their American numbers talking to them WhatsApp. So nobody had any way to communicate. And had we knew each other's, for those who had local phone numbers, we can be able to call, some check, see if you're all right. Hey, I might need help or need some assistance, whatever. But the phone was still wiry. Once I found that out, I still had problems connecting with certain people. So make sure you have a local in your circle of friends when it comes to living abroad, or even when you go on vacation, that you might have an Uber driver that you may know, or somebody in the hotel, or even if it's an Airbnb, you'll have their phone number, so that then if things go on lock, you got access to a local that can probably give you heads up. Because I couldn't speak the language when it came to, you know, uh, trying to ask somebody, yo, what's going on? What's going on and all that right there. Um, Even though there are quite a bit of people who speak English here, still, it was an issue trying to find out what's going on. Um, that is really my pointers, and my tips for those. I did not want to be long. For those who are interested in traveling, I still do my consultations. You can go to goblacktoafrica.com. I think it's back up. I had to talk to my website administrator. I think it's back up now. And set yourself up. If you're wanting to travel to Africa, 34 African countries, I got 20 more to go. Stay with me, rock with me. When I go to these countries, I am starting to kick back up. When I come back, when I set back up to go out, I'm looking at February, and hopefully I can knock out 3 countries and stay abreast. I'm going to be putting out videos, of course, of Damn Erica, letting you all wake up to the fact that we've been lied to, that we ain't better off than what we thought we were, and what's going on in some of these segments of countries that are playing the strategic games in the economy that we live in, about the US dollar, about the what's coming down the pike with other countries that are tying themselves together and going to, resist America and how they do business. A lot of things I want to put out here, but I'm going to be changing up, I guess, some. I've been saying that for a minute, for the last couple of videos. But I want to go ahead and just keep many of our brothers and sisters informed and what's going on our side of town. If anybody got any questions, I will entertain any questions to this point here. By all means, open the window up for those who may want to ask me any questions. I will be delighted to do that. So let's see here. I'm just going to go through here, find the question marks. See, they of course can. Okay, there's Nora Bain. They of course can harvest energy from water and sun. Are they equipped with these things? Not that I know of. I know that many African countries have a bad electrical system with their electricity. Terrible. They go out and in and out, and I don't know why they can't build their own electric systems and stuff like that. Okay, let's see here. Have I recovered? Yes, I've recovered. Thank you for asking. I've recovered. I appreciate your asking that question. I am all well and fine and good. I got to go back to damn Erica and get, of course, be checked on just to make sure everything is good and all that right there. Appreciate you asking. Let's see here. Let's get on to the question. Get on some more questions. Any other questions? Please put a question mark, because if I don't see a question mark, then I'm not going to think you asked a question. How's the scene in Kenya? It's pretty close to Tanzania. I heard they were people there at the borders. How's the scene in Kenya? As far as you just talking about the normal scene or protesting or anything, I'll just say the scene of Kenya. I've been there 4 times, I think, Kenya. I enjoy Kenya. Kenya's becoming a very hot spot. They're doing a lot of building and growth going, and a lot of changes their government's doing for, in some people's opinions, for the worse when it comes to maybe agriculture or food or doing business with European countries and stuff like that. But it's growing rapidly. Let's see here. Which country do you recommend we visit first in case things hit the fan in the U.S.? The easy way into Africa is Ghana. And there's so many of our brothers and sisters that live there. You will get a pretty good helping hand and getting point in the right direction, because there's such a large amount of us there in Ghana, people doing their own things. And there's some groups that are there, communities that are there. Shout out to my Hebrew Israelites over there who's been there for years, who's doing great things in a lot of African countries and having communities. They doing factories and stores and shipping internationally and all that stuff there. Shout out to them. But yeah, I would say Ghana, being that it's the easiest route into Africa. They got direct flights from United Airlines. Prices of tickets are ridiculous. It's amazing. The darker your skin color, the more they want to take advantage of you. And I say that seriously, because how is it that United's going to charge you $1,500 to $1,700 for a plane ticket to get to Africa for an 8-hour flight, but you can get a European flight $800? How does that happen? Somebody explain that to me. Anyway, let's continue. Are the protests completely over? No. And we just got notified that in December, the first week of December, there's going to be further protests or what have you. I'm be gone before then, but that's what the information is, that there's going to be something gathering or something like that they were sending us just to give people the heads up. Will you go back to some of the Ethiopian places? Yeah, I got to get back there, and I still trying to find somebody who can read me their Bible, not the Bible that has been written from the King James or translated, but their own scriptures. I want to know what, the ones that have the painted pictures of Black Jesus on it and all the colorful pictures and stuff. I want to go back there, and I also want to go back to I want to go to Axiom, where they say that the Ark of the Covenant is. I want to go several other places I haven't been to in Ethiopia. Ethiopia is, I tell you, it's different, man, and it's a different spirit upon Ethiopia. It's something, man. It's I can't even describe it. Uh, 30 or 40,000, is that for apartment? That's for apartment. That's for an apartment. But what I'm looking at doing is trying to turn my properties into like a timeshare. So I have property that's in Ghana, and I have two properties here that's in Zanzibar. And so that you can pick and choose if you want to do a 2 week or a week here and 2 weeks over here or whatever. You can do, when you buy into it, is yours for that month. And you can enjoy it, And so I'm trying to lay it out, and I gotta sit down with attorneys to make sure that the contracts are in place. But that's what I'm thinking. That's on my mind. But these are apartments, or here, a place I bought here is a quadplex. It's a quadplex, but the it's 2 bedroom, 2 bathroom um, spot. So yeah, I hope I answered your question. Have you been able to check on the brothers and sisters over there in Demona? I've spoke with my brother over there, Amadale, who's over there a couple months ago. They're doing their business. They still doing what they do over there in Demona, and they're holding strong. So yeah, I keep in touch with them. Uh, Uh, my brother, please, when are you coming to Ghana? I just left Ghana. I just left Ghana. I got to go back to Ghana too because I'm going to get that piece of paper citizenship so I can get this passport and travel to all these different countries that I've been paying visa after visa after visa after visa. And I think if I get the passport in Ghana, that'll save me at least 11 countries. But you want to talk to me about Black people being the original Israelites? I already know that. I've interviewed the people there. The Ashanti tribe, the God tribe, or if you want to say the tribe of Benjamin. Some are taking those claims there in Ghana. Some are taking those claims. Um, I got a book called Hebrewism in Africa, and I'm going to be doing some segments on that too as well, because this is history by Europeans. I'm talking about this book has so much writings from authors of Europeans who've come in Africa and was blown away by the Hebrew Jew African, of certain tribes, that they found. So yeah, most definitely. Go Black, did you get your apartment in Zanzibar? Yeah, I got two of them. I got one two bedroom with two bath, and I got another one 2 bedroom and one bath on both sides of the island, both in beautiful spots, places. If you're on the island, you're right by the water. Water's just right down here. The other one on the other side of the island. Yeah, so I do have that. Yeah. Let's see here. Other questions. Please put a question mark if you had a question. Let's see here. How have how have the land border crossings been? I'm not sure. I don't even have any information on that. Uh, what's really going on there? I think you might have came in late. I've already showed the video, kind of share what was going on. Uh, Peace and grace, go back. Have you visited Mauritius? And what are the thoughts on this East African country as far as political climate? Yes, I have been to Mauritius. Please go into my YouTube. Let me do this right here. I want to show y'all this right here so that you know, because many people don't even know about this. When you call up "Go Black to Africa," you're gonna see this, right? You're gonna see that, okay? And it's gonna have all these videos. Some's gonna be mine, some are not gonna be mine. But if you push, like, if you push that emblem right there, what it does is it opens up my page, and then what you want to do, you see home. That's right here. It's on home. That is when you start to scroll down, you're going to see some recommendations. Hold up. You're going to see popular videos that I have. You're going to then get to my travels in North Africa. And then you're going to see where I'm going to have my travels in South Africa, my travels in East Africa. You're going to see all my travels with all the countries I've been to. Delight yourself in going and just listening and watching um, the various places I've been to. But I've got it laid out easily for you all, and you'll be able to see over 1,000 videos that I've done. Um, and then you have, if you wanted to see like video, just regular videos, shorts or lives, you can click on those too as well. So yeah, but the political part, I don't get into the political aspect of countries, except for, is it a stable country? Yeah. Is it stable, and has any coups? Is it on shaky ground? And that's why I made the comment about Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso, you know, it's 3 years, I think, when President Ibrahim Traore, took over the country. He did a coup against the leader that was there. He felt that there was not enough tension for taking care of the jihadists and the Islamic um, extremists that they're killing people. But they had a coup attempt this year in March or May. And so Mauritius is a beautiful island. It's an island though, and it's sitting out there in the Indian Ocean. And the concerns that I've said, please keep that in mind when you're on an island. Now, just like Tanzania was known for being a very peaceful country, never had any political uprisings, never had any riots or protests. But now all of a sudden they do. And I'm going to say, because of the fact that this YouTube, social media, people are seeing how people operate around the world, and other people see, whoa, hold up, we could do, or we can act, or we can, and you see these behaviors that people, if they're not happy and they see that they can go out and speak and do whatever, they're going to do it. So, but no, Mauritius is a beautiful country. I enjoyed. Go check out my videos on it. I think I only did a couple videos there anyway. But it's, to me, it's not like Africa. It's got more of a Asian, Spanish community base. You do have locals that are there, but you see there are quite a bit of foreigners there who have the properties and stuff like that. Check it out. It's a good visit. Okay, will you try to visit some of the Cushitic tribes? I was there in the land of Kush, if you will, in the southern part of Egypt, but I got to get over to Sudan. I got to get over into Somalia. I got to get over into those areas there. I got to get over in those countries. But even Sudan and them still having some issues and things like that. So yeah, it's tough. But let's see. They found an original slave ship in Namibia. They say it's 500 years old. Did you hear about this? No, I did not hear about this. There again, let me put this right here. to rest when it comes to slave ships, because there are those out here who ignorantly claim that we were never enslaved and we are the original people of America. I'm not going to argue that there are not some of our people who are native to America. We know of the darker skinned natives that were there, you know, in the country. But to say that there is that all of us did not, none of us came on slave ships and slavery was a lie, it's crazy. And then the question is, well, if it was slavery, where are the slave ships? It was all those money slave, and it's like, okay, hold up. Slave ships were cargo ships. That's all they were. You think they're going to have something special to have bunk beds on the bottom of ships? You think they're going to be specifically just for human beings? And this is the craziest things that people spill this garbage on, and then saying, "Oh yeah, there's no slave ships." No, they were cargo ships, and they packed them in like sardines. And it's horrific to even see when you get into some of these dungeons or these slave dungeons, how they packed them in, and you can't get around that they're here on the soil. But those type of people who claim, oh, there was no slavery, they don't even come to Africa to want to see the proof. They just ignore it. But so yeah, cargo ships, yeah, I'm quite sure they probably found some. Let's see here. Have you ever seen any videos, Dr. Akana and Burkina Faso, and any thoughts? Yeah. Hey, I have no issue with Dr. Ericana. I wish her and her ADDI the best. You know, for real, I really do. Yes, she's been in Burkina Faso. Yes, I've seen the videos of her being there. I just seen a recent video, and I think I'm gonna do a video tomorrow of them of President Ibrahim Traore speaking to the diaspora who came to visit. He had nothing but great things to say. And my thing is that I am all for and support the fact that they're going to go visit and to support or give the respect to Ibrahim as for kicking out the French. My comment of I don't think at this time that many people coming from other countries should go and move in right now at this time and start up businesses and all that right there. But some people say, well, if not now, then when? Well, I've mentioned and gave people the information. Burkina Faso is the number one leading African countries that has coups, successful coups. Ibrahim Traore set a coup against his own country. His predecessor he kicked out, he did a coup against her country. It's like the military people in the military be like, I don't like how they're doing it. Let me go ahead and do it. Let me go ahead and do it because I think I can do it better. But my thing was not necessarily about the coups, but it does show that your government could be a little shaky. It was about kicking out the French. And do you think that the French are going to just stand by and allow them to go ahead and just do that to them without any type of backlash or any type of revenge? No, something will go down. And sad to say, when it does, I'm quite sure there'll be a lot of people affected by it. But no, Dr. Akana, that's my sister. She's my sister. She's 9 years my age, and I wish all of them the best. I've prayed for them, and I continue to pray for them when they go into not just there. I was here in Tanzania, stuck on an island. Anything can happen anywhere you go. Anywhere you go. I'm just saying that be careful. Good question. How's life in Zanzibar right now at the moment? I mean, Zanzibar is a peaceful island. Even with all that went on, there's nothing happened here on Zanzibar. It's a very peaceful island. The people are laid back. Matter of fact, I'm going to tell you, people make fun of the Zanzibarians because they call them lazy, don't want to work, and only thing they want to do is just lay back and just chill. This is not just from foreigners. Foreigners ain't saying it. This is their own from mainland. And for me, I see it, but I appreciate it because why? When foreigners come in places and we want accommodations and we start building and all that right there, we'll change the whole dynamics. It's gentrification. And, but you got all these foreigners that come in and be like, hey, oh, the government gonna let us go ahead and buy something, or the government gonna let us build, the government gonna let us, we'll come in with our ideas and because we're accustomed to certain things. And then when we call upon those who are locals and we're trying to get stuff done and want stuff done right now, and the locals looking at you like, Hakuna Matata. No problem. Just chill. And they are being ridiculed for being lazy because I've heard uh even here who's doing building, they go seek out the mainland because they say there are better workers because the locals are not going to get entrapped into working a 40-hour week or work. I've been told they walk off jobs. They go back home. Why? Because they got them a brick little home and they only need a few little shillings money to eat for the day. And they're like, I don't need to work all this. And so many, they're just laid back, relaxed, and they're chilling. And they have the island vibe. They have the island vibe where they just chilling and they got the beaches, they got the sun, they got the trees, the fruits, they got everything around them that they need in order to survive. Why do we need more? And that is really most attitudes, and I love it because we were taught to always keep going, keep going, get more, get more, get more, get more, get more. And here, you know, they just chilling. They be like, hey, Mumbo, hey, I'm just chilling. I don't need to. Hey, can you help me with this? Yeah, but you just ask him come back tomorrow. You may not see him for another 3 days because he's gonna be like, look, it's gonna get done. No problem, no worries. It's going to get done. And you'd be like, nah, man, I need to get this done, this and that. So they take a lot of there's the stereotypes of how the Zanzibarian is. But yeah, I love, man, just how they just relax. Good question. Appreciate it. Do I think Zimbabwe do I think Zimbabwe is a good place to move? I mean, I don't see any problem when I was there. I don't know much about what's going on and stuff, but um, Zimbabwe is like, man, their economy and their money, man, is worth nothing. And unless it changed. So let me tell you, I just know there a couple of years ago when I was there, but you know, it's you got to go visit and you got to get a feel. You got to do your homework. You got to do your homework. Yep. Question: do you not cross by land in Africa? Only planes, no travel by bus across borders? No, yeah, you can. And I was telling my wife we're going to do that this next time, but it is very tricky because I mean, there's been videos that's already been done, but when you get to those borders, you're at liberty of those who wants to get what they want out of you, and sometimes you're going to have to come out your pocket um, to get where you need to go. The other things is the roads are so deplorable in many places, it takes you forever to get where you want to go. It's ridiculous. But that's when you want to go to neighboring countries. That's the only way you're going to go because if you're trying to take a plane, they fly you out over to Europe and fly you back over into that country that they might have a flight. It's ridiculous. Good question though. Let's see here. See, here goes one. So where are the ships, though? Look, hey, there goes one right there. Where are the ships? You tell me. Where are all those old ships? Where are they? Yeah. Let's see here. Other questions. If y'all didn't put no question mark, I'm passing by. Yes, I'm in Tanzania. Somebody asked. Uh, do I regret calling Dr. Ericana a scammer? I never call her a scammer. That was her members who called her a scammer. How am I going to call her a scammer? I never call her a scammer. I said that there was allegations of her scamming. I didn't call her a scammer. I don't think that she scammed anybody, in my opinion. But I lent my platform to those that they wanted to have the voice to share what was going on and wanted answers from her, which I felt she deserved. They deserve to get answers from the leader who claimed that they are the leader of the group. You know, that's all it is. I didn't call her a scam. I wasn't involved in that. Let's see here. Let's see here. Other questions. Yeah, I just been chilling, y'all. I just been laid back chilling. I'm telling you, I'm. It's hard for me to even pick up, man. Get back on YouTube, But, so many people keep meeting me, and I mean, it's like everybody's like appreciate the work I've done and the information I share. You know, how is the food? The food, the food here is okay, but very limited in their way of cooking. Uh, they'll grill chicken. Well, let me say this right here. Tanzania, it has an influence, has been influenced, have been overtaken, have been colonized by um, the Arabs who came in through the Arab slave trade. And so the residue that has left behind is their religion, which is Muslims, their food ways of foods of cooking, which could be either Arabic, it could be not Indian, but it could be from more or less Arabic or Mediterranean, if you will. So it's grilled chicken, and it's chicken biryani, which is a rice mixture with some other like some cashews in it and some onion and stuff like that. But um, ain't no soul cooking, you know. But rice, beans, French fries. Very limited. Africa is very limited in vegetables. Very limited. Unless you go to one of the grocery stores they're shipping stuff from overseas, then you can get vegetables and stuff. But the typical vegetable that most Africans are eating are cabbage, carrot, and tomatoes. They say is a fruit, but tomatoes used, maybe an eggplant or a zucchini, and those are very limited, meaning that they don't have a plate full of that at all. You might find it that might be sparingly in some dish or something. But yeah, and I miss my vegetables. I buy them though from these grocery stores. Yeah. When I think about living in Ghana, Ghana's growing like rampant. Ghana needs to do something about their pollution. I know that much. Ghana needs to do something about their roads. Um, um, but the president right now is doing some great things, and I see road construction. I see just little changes, but I wish they would talk about pollution. You know, whether it's the car pollution from the motorcycles, the vans, the buses, the air pollution is just crazy in the city. And of course, even the trash needs to be. They need to talk about cleaning up trash. You know, but it's growing. It's cool. Yeah. No, I don't have biblical. I don't have diplomatic sources. Let's see here. Let's see here. Other questions. Hey, we got 551 people. Hey, push that like button for me. Hey, it's going to just give the channel actually get this information out. I think people need tips on traveling to some of these countries and places maybe you want to stay, because there are people who are moving to Mauritius. I see that's one push by one of our brothers and sisters. They love it out there in Mauritius. It's an island. you know um um you have the other islands I've been to, which is Sao Tome, Cape Verde, Comoros, um and what else have I been to? Can't think of the other one north of Cameroos. Cameroos. Somebody will know. Madagascar, which I hear is going through a change because their president fled, and but Madagascar was my worst country. I don't go really like to do best and worst, but Madagascar, I had the worst time ever. The capital was just, I need to go back and get outside of the city because I've seen other people who live there who's done pretty good reports, but that city was just impoverished and people sleeping on the streets, people in the hotel begging me not to go out by myself. They sent a guy with me to go to to get a SIM card so I can get, internet. I just did not enjoy that trip. Which countries will I visit next? I'm thinking about the first five countries will be Cote d'Ivoire. It'll be surrounding Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, Togo, Cameroon, Burkina Faso, um, and what's the other one? Uh, um, Guinea. I think it was Guinea. Good question. Yeah, do you still recommend African American relocate to the continent? My I've said this before. I don't recommend everybody come to Africa to relocate. I say that if you want to be around people who look like you and you blend in and you can get settled in and do things, there are some countries that are opening up the doors to us. I mean, but there are many people who go to Costa Rica, they go to South America, Mexico, Spain, Portugal, Asia, Thailand. I've seen many of our brothers and sisters go to these various countries. So, get in where you fit in. So that is it for the questions, brothers and sisters. I appreciate each and every one of you all. Seychelles. Hey, there you go. Seychelles. Thank you, Emmanuel Davis. Seychelles, the other country. Beautiful island. Beautiful island. Out there. Um, but the islands sometimes may be taken up by foreigners, and the locals will be there. They do their thing. But yeah, this other island I've been to. So, hey, I thank you all for coming in and hey, go ahead and smoosh through and watch through my videos. Anything that's interesting, go ahead and share it with somebody. Um, I'm gonna get back here on the scene. If I begin to motivate and encourage myself to get back up, I'm gonna do an interview of my son when he came with me here. He just left week before last, looking for his wife. You get to hear his opinion about the African women. You're going to be able to hear his story. And so I think that's going to be really interesting to hear from him. 37 years old. He got a chance to go ahead and check out some of the women, talk to some of the women. And he's going to give you his side of that. So I'm going to interview him once, since now we got the internet back up here for the last 5 days. It's been consistent. I might reach out to him and we do something here in the next day or so. So look out for that, family. But saying all that, family, this is your man, not your boy. Go black to Africa. Peace out to each and every one of y'all. Be blessed. Enjoy your day, your evening, or your morning as I have. Thank you very much. I'm out.